Good morning. So I've been, good morning, all the watchers. What's up, Kenneth? KD? What's up, Gus? Hello, who's the master? No masters here. Gus, just your daddy. That's fine. So I spent, I don't know, maybe like the last 30 minutes, like trying to come up with topics. And I think as this grows, it'll be a little easier, right? Because we'll have more people in the chat. So hopefully it, you know, it'll grow. How do I sound? Do I sound okay? And then I won't have to like prep for so long. I prep for a while. But I feel like there's a lot of stuff. I feel like Monday is kind of easy. Just kind of like talk about the weekend, like personal stuff, and then like go into like sporting events. Also football's here. And so we'll first certainly talk about football pretty much every Monday. A little bit. If you guys don't like football, I'm sorry. I love football, so we'll talk about it. And yeah, good morning, Crystal. Morning. So I was playing around with perfect. Is the sound off? 10. With a intro song. You guys got to tell me what you think. All right. Is the sound off? I don't think so. Do I sound okay? I can turn it up some. That's right. 10 beats. I think we're at 12. Let's go, baby. Check. I never know which one. I think that's just my headphones. So we're going to turn this up. I think that's good. Okay. 10 absolute beasts. Good morning, Camille. Ageless Athletics. If you guys are Masters athletes looking for some sweet clothes, head over to Ageless Athletics. Do we think Legends will be well attended with the recent happenings at the CrossFit Games? So this is a great question, and I'm going to double back to it. I feel like I want to get a few more people on. Ask it again in like 10 minutes. All right, I'm going to play. I've been playing with some, I want to get like an opening song. And so let me know what you guys think. All right. So here's the song. So we went with just tell me what you guys think.
In the world of fitness, born and raised on the buffalo where I spent most of my
It's a little
days,
long, but
chilling out,
probably
maxing,
cut it down.
relaxing, all cool, talking CrossFit tips and breaking no rules. In a couple of reps, always up to no good. Started throwing down weights in my neighborhood. I hit one big PR, my coach got scared, said you're moving up the leaderboard, straight to the fair. This is the Wild Prep Podcast. Come on for CrossFit fitness and life to begin. Masters athletes. This one's for you. Get ready, get set, let's break through.
That was it. I was pretty excited about it. I thought it was kind of funny. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is like, in my opinion, probably like one of the best opening theme songs of any show ever. And so I was like, let's do a theme. It's not there yet. I think it's a little long, but I think we can get there. We can get there with that. What do you guys think? Is that a good starting point? Or are we way off the mark? Also, let me know if you heard it. I assume you heard it. Maybe not. That would be sad. All right. Camille, you don't count. You love everything. I need someone that's critical. So anyways, we're working on it. We'll see how it goes. Just a couple update things. If you guys don't follow baseball or anything like that, the Little League World Series was this weekend, and Florida has been in it a few times over the years, a couple neighboring cities of mine. And so more cowbell. I like it. Yeah, pretty sweet. Could use more cowbell. Exactly. And so Lake Mary, which is basically where I'm from the Orlando area, won the Little League World Series, which is pretty sick. So winning the Little League World Series is a pretty big deal. 12-year-old before the field gets bigger. You guys watch this sick play. Oh, wait, that's not it. Is this the win? Nope, no one's there. There's one. Where was it? It was on ESPN. ESPN posts so much stuff. Oh, here we go.
Liao Shenhao rips one up the middle, fielded by Anderson. Oh!
Yeah, that play was fire. He's 12. Anyways, congrats, Lake Mary. So, that was pretty cool. I knew a few people on a team when I was around that age, and so they were pretty arrogant and cocky about it for a lot of years, and then I ended up playing college baseball with one of them randomly here in Pensacola. How was everyone's weekend? Oh. When you guys get like other family drama that maybe you're not involved in, but like it is drama, it doesn't involve you, and maybe you don't quite enjoy that side of the family as much, does it make you chuckle? Does it like make you laugh a little bit? You're just like, because that's what I heard. I got some tea this weekend from like a portion of the family. They're going through some stuff, which I feel bad for them at the same time, but on the flip side of that, it's a little funny. I mean, I hope they work through it, but does it make you guys laugh? It made me laugh. So I know that's kind of mean, but it was still pretty funny. Let's see. CrossFit, the real test is how much you want to be in Alabama to be the fittest. We have athletes coming in from all over, at least the 4 that we're coaching. 2 are from the West, one's from Scotland. So, Birmingham's great. It's way fucking better than Fort Worth, to be honest. There's way more to do. Very similar to Madison. So, yeah, just in general, it's better than it's similar to Madison. Great downtown, a lot of college. It's a college town. So I don't know. You can say what you want about Alabama. It's fine. We're not like in the middle of nowhere. I mean, Birmingham's a pretty big city. Adam's sore from a good workout. Me too. I did some squats yesterday. Yeah, yesterday morning. I got up. I cut the lawn. It looks nice. It's nice and crisp. I trimmed a little tree, trimmed some bushes. I got to cut the back before we go. Oh, yeah, my coaches are here. So Nelson and Orlando, 2 coaches that work at WOD Prep with me. And so they got in yesterday. So we're hanging for the day. And we're going to head up to Birmingham tomorrow morning. Drop Bennett off. And then we'll drive up. It's like a 4-hour drive. It's not too bad. Yeah, you'll love it. 100%. I'm Southern, so I think I'll like Birmingham. Yeah, it's great. Uh-oh. You know when you get a text message and you're just like, I think this text message like partially ruined my day. I just got one of those like just now. My wife messaged me. Her name's Perrin, by the way. And she said she thinks the stomach bug hit hit my son's class, which is terrible. Which probably means that I need to keep him home today. So all my plans just went out the window. Does anyone else get that? So two points to this. Two talking points. It's amazing. Most importantly, it's amazing that I can now process this and decide if I can adjust my day to keep him home, right? But two, because I can adjust my day, it means I should, and now I'm gonna be behind. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. CrossFit. I feel like you have to be Southern because you know Legion Field. You referenced Talladega like a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago too. And so you have to be from Gulf Coast, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, like somewhere in the South. Good morning, Holly. So I don't know why. I heard they have to change the bar. There's 2 bars. I don't know why it would be for safety. I think Bob was on Talking Elite Fitness. I didn't listen to it. Someone just sent me that you have to change the bar, but it definitely does blunt the event. I agree. I was thinking, and so we'll get into this when we talk about the games, some of the like events and restrictions. We'll talk maybe a little bit about programming. I've really like sat and thought about it a lot after listening to some other people talk about it and rip it up or like say it was good. And so I figured it was equipment, right? So if we just think of a loan, so there's 3 floors, okay? There's 3 floors, 20 people in each heat. So they have 20 lanes to provide equipment for, or they have 60 lanes to provide equipment for at all times from basically 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every single day, including the community stuff. So those 3 floors are booked and they are full the entire time, all 4 days. And so if we just think of 45-pound plates alone for that event, assuming there's not another event using plates at the same time, that's 245-pound plates to be used just on that floor alone to do the 35 masters, 35 males. That's so many plates, right? So you have 4 bars, 135, which is 185, 205, 225, whatever it is. It's 10. Oh, yeah, well, males and females, but they won't be, CrossFit said males and female bars too. They won't be on the floor at the same time, right? So just like there's 245-pound plates on the bar on the floor at the same time, just that one floor. So I was thinking it was an equipment limitation of them not having to set up 4 bars and only set up 2, because that would basically cut it in half. So I don't know. I'll get into that a little bit later of like, yeah, they could definitely, the workout should have changed if they were going to do that. It should have just been longer, right? Like it should have been 3 bars, but like 10, 6, 2 and heavier load or something like that, right? Like 10 at 155. So if it's 35 males, so like 10 at 165 8 at you know, at 195 and 4 or something like 10.64, something like that, at 225 or 2 at 225. And they should have been squat and not power, something like that. I mean, they could have done it, but it's definitely going to be, with the way that it's set up now, it's who can change the weights the most efficiently. And that's not ideal. Like, that's not good. They could have made it better for sure. I think I understand why they're doing it, but they could have extended the time, right? So anyways, I'm not a fan of that adjustment, but I'm going to guess that they had a lot of equipment limitations and restrictions based on their movement selection. Like, I'm very confident that that's the reason why there's no handstand push-ups, is they couldn't get a plexi up. And that's the reason why there's a lot of redundancy in movement patterns, barbell, a lot of dumbbell cycling, primarily a barbell, right? Correction, there's not a lot of dumbbell cycling, because I'm guessing, dumbbells are damn near more expensive than barbells, right? So I'm assuming this is to me saying you're in the South. Eyes and zipper mouth. Let's see. Avera, do people care less about teams or age groups? Very few people care about teams, for sure. Like, if there was, currently the way the structure is, I think masters have at least a little bit of love from the masters, but the teams don't really have any love. Like, it's progressively downhill. I think it was only even on its pedestal for as long as it was because of Rich. People just love to watch Rich, right? Like, love to see the dominance across the board. So, and then masters will find out. I mean, it seems like, and this is obviously, we're in a little echo chamber within WOD Prep, but it seems like I know quite a bit of people that are trying to go. It also helps that it's solo. It's on a holiday weekend, which I think is a good idea. Birmingham's not super easy to get to. But yeah, we'll see, if it's a complete flop, it's going to be a tumultuous year for sure. 100%. Okay. We'll do some due diligence, on our stuff, guys. Make sure to, so we were talking about weekend, and Friday I went to a bachelor party, which wasn't really a bachelor party. We had some drinks somewhere, and I didn't really, I think I had one. Anyways, and so we were out late, but we were about an hour away. We were in Gulf Shores. And so made sure everyone got home, back to the campground. And then it was like 11:45 and I drove home, which is about an hour. So I got home at 1, and we had, did we have a busy Saturday? What did we do? I felt like we did something. We did something on Saturday. Oh, we did like family day. We went to like the farmer's market and all the things, and went out and played around for a little while with Bennett and the wife. And so I was up at 5. So it was a nice 4 hours, 4-hour sleep night. And then Sunday night, slept a little longer, 6 hours. Still up early because on the weekends I have to make sure that I work, right? I have to program before everyone wakes up. And then last night I got the guys, they got in town, and so we stayed up late, and I was programming till like 1 a.m. And then I got up at 5 to make it happen. And so obviously it's not the most, most ideal thing for health, but, it's interesting. I've been a very good sleeper for a long time, but I've never needed a lot of sleep to operate. And then if that'll catch up to me over like a few days, if I do that. But in college, I taught a sunrise boot camp on Pensacola Beach for, I don't know, 3 days a week for like most of my college career. It's 5:30 in the morning. And we did a lot more beverage partaking back in college than we do now, 100%. And so I would usually just go out and then go and sleep on the beach in my truck and then do that in. Anyways, what I'm getting at is sleep is important. I don't get enough, but I'm trying to work on it. And clearly this is leading into a little pitch, but Third Z helps with that. And so I wanted to pull it up. Everyone always asks what it is. I don't want to say everyone. Some people ask what it is. And so basically, it's not Huberman, right? This is just basically the ingredients, okay? So there's roughly 5 ingredients: magnesium, L-theanine, glycine, and GABA. Okay, and the glycine is in the form of collagen peptides. All right, and so these are just sleep promoting supplements that improve your ability to fall asleep quick, stay asleep, get into REM sleep very well, and then relax prior to going to sleep. So it works. What is Third Z? Thanks, Gus. So it works. It's all of these supplements in their exact dosage is, obviously not just pulled off of Huberman, but through science, through research. We work within the normal, what the research shows as far as dosing for all of these. So if you guys are trying to improve your sleep, look into it. All right. WOD Prep 15. All right, cool. And then if you're still interested in some one-on-one coaching or rehab, I've actually had, I don't know if it's from this, but it comes in waves. So we won't get a call. Like I won't take a sales call or intro a new athlete for months. And then I'll have like 10 in a month. And so it's kind of coming in waves. I'm just going to assume it's because of the podcast. That just makes me feel better about being on this thing all the time. But I do enjoy it either way, if I'm making more money or not, or whatever it is. I really enjoy this. I hope you guys do too. I hope it's not too boring. I enjoy kind of just chatting. Like I said, when the podcast started, when the chat grows, I think it'll be even more fun. Let's see. Coda Iron Games, October 12th and 13th. We're going to start releasing workouts the next couple of weeks, indies and teams. We've been working really, really hard on them. So we want to make sure that none of them are boring, right? We've gone through a bunch of iterations and we want to make sure that they look, that they're fun, that they're fun to do. So getting some testing in, make sure the time caps are good, make sure it's balanced. All right, so I need to respond to my wife. Okay, what do we need to do? Do we need to keep Bennett out of school today? Of course, my guys are here. We had plans. That's all right. Bennett comes first, right? Man, talk about sacrifice. Let's see. Yeah, this is it. Don't even bother planning things half the time, says Kenneth. Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. My day is planned. My wife's name is Perrin, Paryn. It's a pretty unique name. Kenneth said, don't even bother making plans. It's interesting. So on Thursday, I was in the middle. I was about to go live because the Masters workouts were announced, and I was going to go live and talk about it. And I got a call. My wife's sister got in a wreck. She was all right. She was rear-ended. The car was pretty bad, and she had she just needed some help. And my wife called me. She was like, "Hey, this happened," and I was like, "Okay." And she was like, "Well," and I was like, "Just ask me if I can go." And she's like, "Is it okay?" I'm like, "Yep, we can make it happen." And then she had plans that night, so I needed to be like on full dad duty, which means I can't work in the afternoon. And And she's like, oh, I won't go to the thing. And I was like, you can go, like, go to the thing. And I was like, I just need to know. I just need to understand the plan. So like, I always just base the plans off the family. Like, I don't make any plans for myself or anything like that. So, yeah, it's always like that. I feel like it's just an audible every single day, morning to night. Camille, what's Talladega? It's there's a NASCAR event there. And so it's like a kind of like a lot of history. There's also a big national park there. People go camping and things like that. So it's in Alabama. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good story, man. I wish there were more people watching this. So, I don't know how people judge me online or anything like that. I never know. Some people, some people think that I'm like relatively passive, and it just depends on kind of like where you meet me at. But a lot of people don't like me when they meet me, and that's okay. I'm kind of in your face about it. I'm not as I don't know, maybe agreeable as maybe online. And so it's a long story. So we were in fraternity sorority in college. And so I had a girlfriend that wasn't Greek, which is very strange. It's like a strange thing to do. And we ended up breaking up, and we had our formal. So we live in Pensacola. So we would go to New Orleans with my fraternity, and, just, yeah, we would just get shithoused. And so we did that all the time. And so we were there. Second night, I was with another girl. Like, I brought someone else. She was shithoused. I think we split up like that part of the night. Anyways, we were out late. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning. It's New Orleans. And so we got kicked out of a bar. Well, I got kicked out of a bar because I was like standing on the table, or I don't know, like on the banister or something. And so we left. And as we were leaving, we bumped into this local group. And the local group is like New Orleans locals are like not people you mess with, and, pretty trashy. And so anyways, one of my buddies bumped into this girl. They got in his face. And so anyways, so we got in a little shoving. And in college, I was a super hothead, like I did the bodybuilding thing, and I thought I was hot shit. And so I got in quite a bit of fights in college, and this was kind of the start of it. And so I was a hothead, and got, me and another buddy, another fraternity brother, who's one of my best friends now. He was one of my best friends then too. Got in this guy's face, got in a little pushing match, and it got broken up, and we walked away. And so anyways, they started following us. This is kind of a longer story. So anyone here that wants to come back in like 10 minutes. And so as they were following, again, this is like 2 a.m, and we're like blackout drunk. And so all of a sudden I realized that like a bunch of groups kind of like merged, right? They were like different groups of our fraternity, like the people that we were with, kind of merged in a cross, like a 4-way, an intersection on Bourbon Street. And I was like, let's get food. And I kind of just like kept veering and walking. And so all of a sudden I realized I wasn't around anybody. And then I was around like 8 people that weren't my friends, and they were the other people. And so I was like, uh-oh, here we go. And so I got jumped. I tried to calm it down, and mid-sentence, I got a cross right here. Never even saw him. Blindside. Broke my jaw in 2. Well, actually into 3 pieces, because it broke, I guess it would be 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it broke in 2 spots, here and here. Huge brawl broke out. A lot of hospital visits. A couple of guys went to the hospital with me. Pretty sure someone got like American History X curb stomped. And like another gang was like kind of watching, and they were chucking like beer bottles into the brawl. Busted one of my buddies in the face. Anyways, it's, college. And so long story short of that, I ended up getting my jaw wired shut. Well, in college, it's like when like bad things happen to you, like you gain popularity, right? And so like because of this huge fight and my jaw being wired shut, like everyone in the Greek life world knew. And that was just like the thing. And so like we gained, I don't know, we'll just call it popularity. Oh yeah. Yeah. They were all about like 5'4", 112 pounds. So I know that guy was super tough, toughest dudes go for the cheap shots. Oh yeah. We won the fight. I took the first loss in the battle. But we won the war, no doubt. And so I got my jaw wired. So I got my jaw wired shut for 28 days. It's the fucking worst. If anyone in here has ever had their jaw wired shut, it is the absolute nightmare. And so during that time, increased popularity, I ended up going to a lot of the sorority formals, right? That's like that time of the year. And so I had some friends in this sorority, Alpha Delta Pi or 80 Pi. And I was like, hey, I want to go to y'all's formal. And like, well, you can go with Perrin. And I was like, who the fuck is Perrin? And so we were sophomores. And I felt like I knew everyone in Greek life. And I was like, man, Perrin's going to be someone I don't want to go to formal with. But I was like, I'll go anyways. So we met on a blind date at Chick-fil-A, which is the Chick-fil-A that we go to every week when we get Chick-fil-A together. And it's 2 minutes from our house currently where we live. We live right next to the university. And so we met on a blind date. And they didn't tell her, I had no idea what she looked like. And they didn't tell her my jaw was wired shut till she met me in person. So we met. She was a preschool teacher. I had to talk like this because I couldn't open my mouth. And, the running joke was that I sounded like a bunch of her 2-year-olds. So she understood me really well. And so we went to formal and we hung out a little bit. And then she ghosted me like for months. And I like chased her and I lost. I never she wasn't about it. She would ghost me. She'd say we're going out and then she wouldn't show up. And this happened for a few months. So I had to delete her number because I had never lost the battle. I never chased a girl and not gotten what I wanted. And she fucking put me through the ringer. And so she was just gone, right? This was in April, kind of, chased her around. Yeah. Yeah, CJ got no Riz. I definitely didn't in that situation. 100%. I felt like I had a fuckload of Riz in college. And so because I had never lost the battle, right? Or lost the chase, I didn't know how to handle it. So I had to delete her number. So I would stop messaging her. And so, not on a stalker thing, but I was just I'd ask her to go out and I was just getting pissed anyways. And so we're going to cross a lot of paths because in Greek life, we just do all the things together, right? And our fraternity and sorority did a lot of stuff together. Even more than the general Greek world. And so, so school year came back around. We got a huge house right off campus, 6 of us. And it became the house, the party house. And everyone would come over. They would come over during lunchtime, in between classes, because it was walking distance. And so we had a lot of social events at our house. And her and a group of 5 girls just started coming over, right, all in the same sorority. And we had 5 guys there. And so 3 of them, Perrin and 2 others, started dating. We all started 2 of them started dating, right? And so everyone started I don't know. Courting is not the right word, talking, however you want to talk about it, right? And so they just started coming over for college football on Saturdays, and they would bring food, and they would I don't know, the thing was to we never did laundry because we're kids and men in college or boys in college. And so anyway, so they would just start to our laundry. So they just started to come over, and they just kept coming over, and then they just never left. And so 3 of the 6 guys and 3 of those 5 girls all got together over the years, and we all got married. And so Perrin just started coming back over, and she just never left. And so then we started dating. And so that was 2011, end of 2010, early 2011. And so, yeah, that was it. So we've been together a long time, like almost half of our lives. So that's our origin story. It's a good one. Um, One we probably won't tell Bennett for a really long time. And yeah, so she ended up coming back. She came back. She knew what she was missing. She'll tell it pretty much the same way, but yeah, she strung me along, and parent is extremely high class. I've as ageless, I wasn't like a great morally sound college guy, but parent is extremely high class, and it was worth the fight for sure. She's the best mother I could have ever imagined. And I knew it then too, right? Like I made the commitment to like, all right, if I get with this girl, now I know this is it. Like I knew it was the long-term thing. And so, you know, yeah. I didn't like chase her like on a creepy thing, because it wasn't all the time. We would just like, hey, do you want, are you heading out to this event? Yeah. And then she would just ghost me. And so, she was in like her hot girl summer. Like she was doing her own thing and whatever. Like I think like she had gotten out of a long relationship like within that year. And so did I. And so I had never been single. And so we both had like our, I don't know, single summer. But anyways, that's the good question, Chris. Thanks for asking my origin story with my wife. It's a good one. Yep. So we had another question somewhere. CrossFit teams died when it wasn't just affiliate teams. Rich gave it a jolt, but once it wasn't true homegrown groups, it was dying. Yeah, that's interesting. I kind of agree. The super team thing, because I think we just don't get the support from within the gym. But then also, like if it goes overseas, no one's going to fly overseas to watch their gym go to the CrossFit games. But I don't know. I don't know how to. I feel like there's a way that we can salvage teams somehow. We'll see how the tier cup goes. Like this new format of different structure. Maybe it's not 8, maybe it's still 2-2, but there's like solo events and there's team events. And this is how I've always viewed team, and this is what I've always thought. Uh, Pause. Augusta, CG glad. I don't know. Oh, because of my college. Fuck John. He can just because he's lived a certain way doesn't. I don't being judged. Oh my gosh, of all the things that I care about in life, how other people view me is probably completely on the bottom of that list. I mean, I just told the story of how I met my wife, and I mean, like most of it's me being blackout drunk. And like, I mean, it just is what it is. That's what we did in college. We were in Greek life, and that's what we do. And so yeah, gosh, no, I'm super proud of all the things that I've done. Maybe not all the things, but as far as like being judged, no, never a problem. So this is what my thought was for teams. Here we go. Pull this back up. So I think tier is going to potentially set a little bit different of a standard of what it could look like in the entertainment factor, and hopefully not just fully reliant on the names that are doing it, but it probably is. So, but for the most part, I think it should have always stayed 3-3, but you should be able to put in and sub out athletes as you see fit, and have some specialists in there, right? And you have like solo events, and then you have 2-2, and maybe you have like 3-3 for like the really long stuff. But I definitely think that having some form of like player strategy, maybe a little bit like grid, but just not everything to be this sprint race, obviously concept, I believe would have, or would be able to maybe give it some oomph. So, but who knows, right? I don't know if if they'll ever do that. It does sound like grid, but grid's very specific to if you watched any grid. So our new coach, Melissa, one of our PTs, she's a sponsor of grid. And so like it's huge in Central Florida. If you're fit, you probably are on a grid team. And so for but everything is, highly complex and highly skilled, right? And everything is a full sprint race at all times. There's no like, I don't think there's any synchro work. Everything has these like higher complexity gymnastics. And yeah, so that's basically what it would be. Grid with like CrossFit standards and CrossFit workouts would be my thought. But I think grid is always solo or relay. I think we could be, the tier structure I think is a good starting point of what it could look like. And I'm really excited to watch it for sure. The tier cup at Wadapalooza, SoCal. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited to watch it. I think it's during the adaptive games, which I'll be at as well. If anyone's in San Antonio, you guys should definitely go. Anyways, all right. I feel like I had other things to talk about. Oh yeah. So this weekend, Hiller put up a video on why James isn't the fittest, and he made some interesting points that I wanted to bring up. Jesus, Duke. Do you guys think James is the fittest? And then how do we define it? And then even more so, Seth hit the rebuttal, and I love Seth's rebuttal, right? So Hiller's main driving point was that the tests seemed to be biased and that workouts were taken out at the last minute. And we saw that. And Seth's main rebuttal was that we never know how tests or when tests have been changed and what the deadline is and how do we define that deadline. And so because we don't have any set parameters of what's required to test the fittest, that any test put out by Dave and the team that they do we have agreed that it's the test, right? And so I love it. I thought it was the greatest rebuttal, and it was, Hiller made good points. Obviously, I think everyone believes the test could have been biased, but I think it's biased every year. Everyone agrees that there was, an asterisk in the year with everything that happened, but there could be an asterisk every year of injury or, a biased test or whatever it is. And, but Seth's rebuttal was so good. Yeah, right. Exactly. Right. So Augusta said, if those two workouts just weren't released, similar to prior, we wouldn't even know they were missing, and we wouldn't exactly. And so we wouldn't even be able to say that tests were deleted. Right. And so based on Hiller's defining point is that because there were changes and it was made to be what it was made, is that it's not testing the fittest anymore. It's just testing for the winner of the CrossFit Games. And I 100% agree with Seth is that we never know what happens behind the scenes. Dave says that workouts are changed all the time last minute to fit whatever narrative they needed to fit for broadcast or time domains or whatever. And so I thought it was great. I'm going to put up a poll. Here we go. Whoops. Let's see. Ask a question. Is James Sprague the fittest man on earth? Yes, no. Start poll. I'm so cool. I can start a poll. Haha. That's sick. Sweet. And so anyways, I thought it was a great argument. I'm pro Seth. I think it was really, really good. Yeah, I would love to see them talk about it. Uh, Hiller's point also heavily relies on the assumption that Brent would have done well on both, but he might have done better than James, but he wouldn't have done that much better. Um, I think it's Dallin. I think Dallin would have the flip. Theoretically, if those two tests would have come out, it's odds are Dallin probably would be sitting on top of the leaderboard. But we don't know, right? Oh, Bennett's making noise. Let's see if he goes back to sleep. So yeah, I don't know. My wife hasn't texted me back on do we need to keep Bennett out of school? So I'm waiting for that text. If he has to stay out of school, we're going to get donuts. But Hiller thinks he would have, so he would have. Yeah, that's a good point. But that's the whole point, right? I'm not faulting Hiller for his thoughts. I'm not going to attack him for what it is. I just think Seth's argument was way better. I think it was 100 times better. Because this test isn't standardized. And so until the test is standardized, we can't say anything about the movements specifically or when they're written or if they're deleted last minute or anything like that. So it doesn't really matter. Let's see. College football started last weekend. Georgia Tech, Florida State. What a game. If you guys don't watch college football, it was an amazing game. I'm a Miami fan. Right there. Go Canes. So watching Florida State lose, music to my ears, especially when they were overranked 10th to an unranked Georgia Tech. Let's fucking go, baby. In Ireland, that shit was awesome. What a great time to start. And so Miami and Florida play this weekend. And my wife is a huge Gator. And we have never been in the same state when they've played. They don't play every year. But we've been together for 14 years. And we've never been in the same state when they've played all 3 times. So we're not going to be in the same state again. And it's good because there would be, a point of probably stress within our relationship. Gus is on timeout. Fuck you, Gus. My favorite part of NCAA 25 is kicking the shit out of you. Oh, you're a child. You play video games? I bet you play video games in your mom's basement. All right. Andrew McGuff, adding 2 events would probably change the outcome. So would Adler staying. The bias in the test is there, but Sprague was the fittest for this test. Yeah, but to say that says that he's the fittest on earth, right? That's literally saying the same exact thing. And because we've agreed, and we can't just change our mind, that's just not how it works. We've agreed that the test is testing for the fittest always. Okay. And so because it does that, we've agreed to it all these years. We always say it doesn't matter what the test, the fittest will win, right? We've said that a bazillion times. Okay. We say it all the time. We say when Matt wins, say when Tia wins, said when Rich won. And so we can't just change our mind because we don't like the way the tests look. That's exactly what it is. And so because the test is there, and that's what was presented to us, that's what we have to accept at this point. So anyways, my parents don't have a basement. Damn. And you're broke? I'm sorry, dude. I don't have a basement either. It's fine. I barely have an attic. No basements in Florida. In other sports news, Jacob Ingebrigtsen, I follow a little bit of track and field, broke one of what they thought was like one of the most breakable world records, which is the 3,000 meter world record. He ended up not even podium or got bronze in the mile or the 1,500 meter in the Olympics. But he is the best middle distance runner in the world, hands down. But he ran 3,000 meters in 7 minutes and 17 seconds. Guys, that's fucking insane. I don't know if anyone here can run 1,000 meters in 2:40. It's wild. It's like just over. I think it's under. I might even be under a 4-minute mile. Is it under a 4-minute mile? It's like right at a 4-minute mile for 2 miles. Insane. So world lead 7:25 for the year, but the world record was 7:20, which is so much different. And this guy almost broke it too. Like it was the 2 best races ever. It was wild. Insane. Yeah, 3,000 meters. Gus with the flex. Not many basements in Arkansas in their lake cabin. Yeah, let them know, baby. Let them know. The mile. Oh yeah, the mile. It's 1,500 meters. The 1,500 meter for the Olympics was one of the best races that I've ever, like one of the best events I've ever seen on the Olympics from a entertainment standpoint. Crystal Hummer, the mental game is so important in CrossFit, and James's mental game exceeded most. Yeah, and so he talked about this on where was he on? Coffee Pods and Wads? No. I don't know, whoever interviewed him, Brian, friend. I mean, he was like, do you think that this wasn't hard for me and I didn't struggle? Of course I did. It's part of the game. That's part of the test. So it is what it is. I mean, I agree with him 100%. Yeah, I won it fair. Hey, I just athletics. I think he won it fair and square. I don't think anyone's questioning that he won it fair and square. It's questioning, like, does he deserve the title? Right? It's like, does the test in the year depict that he is what the title says he is? And so I think it does 100%. Mainly because we can't determine what the parameters are around the test that will determine if he is or isn't the fittest. Like, so, this is our opinion. It's all subjective, right? So, all right. Thanks for bringing this back up. Do you think Legends will be well attended given the events this year at the CrossFit Games? There's 2 parts to this question. Do I think it'll be well attended? But you're referencing it specifically via the CrossFit Games. The Masters Games splitting from CrossFit sucked. I hate it. I hate every bit of it. It was 100% of why I hated it. I hate everything about them splitting off, but I understand why. Money, professionalizing the sport, being able to move it around the world for the professionals and for the individuals. Teams is going to be gone too, which then in turn, I think is going to make it even more manageable for them to do what they want to do from like a world traveling show. Okay. Like Australia, Europe, whatever, South America, probably not South America, but you know what I mean? And so I hate it. I hate that they're split, but the Masters Games not being a part of the CrossFit Games at this point in time in the last, 21 days or however many days we're at now, 17 days from the incident, is the best thing that could have happened for the Masters CrossFit Games, because they are not no one is associating with it at all. Not even a little bit. Like, they just zero association. CrossFit has nothing to do with it except giving out the money currently at this point. And I'm assuming that's only going to last for another year, and then they're not even going to be a part of it then. So I don't think the strategy at the CrossFit Games is going to affect the Masters Games whatsoever at all. Now, with that being said, do I think the Legends event will be well attended? No, I don't think the Legends event will be well attended. I unfortunately think it's going to be family and friends and relatively empty, but Masters pulls in family and friends pretty well. So, so I'm hoping that it goes well. Here, whoops, take that one down. Whoop. So yeah, Colin, if you guys want to pop in, make sure that it's working. So I don't think it'll be attended well. but I don't think that will I don't think that will be affected from what happened this past. Like no one that was going to like the Masters games decided not to come, or no one that had it like that has the chance to go and that were sort of planning on coming was deterred, or like their determination wasn't from what happened at the CrossFit games. So so yeah, anyways.
Giving a call back.
If you guys want to call in, chat. So I think that answered your question. This was the question. Do I think the Legends events will be well attended given the events this year at the CrossFit Games? Do we think the CrossFit Games is in jeopardy of going away? No, absolutely not. It will still be here. And the reason why is one, there's a lot of money on the line, a lot of sponsors on the line. And so the PFAA can bark up their tree and shout their fists. And complain, make their requests or whatever they want to do, but they don't have a leg to stand on, right? They don't have a union. If they boycott, they're just going to get replaced, and it might take a year, but no matter what, right? The only time CrossFit makes any money on CrossFit is at the CrossFit Games. And even if the current 80 athletes didn't go, the CrossFit Games would still sell out. Would still sell out in Fort Worth, and they would make the same amount of money. People would still spend the money. They would go, right? It would probably even be more because your next 80 or your next 40 men and women are usually like lower on the totem pole, which means they have more local and community support from their gym or whatever it is, right? And so if they're in the States, that gym is going to travel more, right? And so now sponsors would get pissed. Those people would start losing sponsors, and then the other people would get sponsors, but they would still sell out, right? And so this is the problem with CrossFit, right? Semifinals might be a little less, but even so, maybe semifinals isn't less because more bottom of the totem pole people are going to get their way in, right? The community support for your 41st to 50th athlete in a region is way higher than the community support for your 1st to 10th, right? Because they still have that connection to the gym. So I don't think anything would happen right now. Views on YouTube might go down, but I don't know how much money they make on that, right? From monetizing the YouTube channel. I can't imagine it's something to write home about, because even if they get, a few million views over the weekend of all events, that might only be like a few $100,000 at the most. And I doubt it's even that much. So the only thing that I think they would lose would be maybe some semifinal, but semifinals was a fucking disaster anyways in the West, right? So I don't think it matters, because I think it still sells out, right? They sold out in like 20 minutes this year, and people still wanted tickets, and there were enough people there, not without tickets, that would have got tickets and wanted to go, right? So I don't think it it'll matter. And the only way that anything goes away would be if they boycott, and they just don't have the bargaining power. They don't have the power currently. So that's my thoughts on it. I think they're within their right to ask what they're asking too. Like, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they have a leg to stand on. I think they're, barking up a tree that's it's not going to work out for them, in my opinion. So what's TRL? Wasn't that like the MTRL MTV show? Total Request Live. I guess if I call in, do I have to talk about something? I mean, I guess not. We can just like be in each other's company and not speak or something. That would be kind of strange. I might as well just give you a link. You can pop your face on here. So Yeah, Camille. Do I think it's in jeopardy? No. And then also on that, this boycott concept. Um, yeah, exactly, right? So, um, that's also assuming all 80 current games athlete actually stand with the PFAA, which is very unlikely. Um, on top of that, so even if they do and they boycott it, right? Even if they do all stand with them, the problem is only maybe 20 to 30 of these athletes, maybe 40, can afford to not compete. And so you're talking about this isn't like they're not NFL players. If they strike, they're still, like they're going to get paid or whatever, right? Like they make enough money that they can not do it. These athletes don't make a lot of money, guys. And so there's no way that they could do this, right? Sponsors might support them somewhat, but they won't support them forever. And so another text message come through. Family drama. Whenever my father-in-law messages me, I know it's going to be, we're going through some other family stuff. Anyways, there's always something going on, right? And so, I just don't think the PFA has that footing yet, right? Because even if they were to boycott, a lot of athletes would put themselves in a position where, guess what? They don't get to be full-time fucking athletes anymore. They got to go get real jobs. And they're not going to put themselves in that position. No one is going to put the PFAA in their morals above their livelihood, right? Like you're just not. Um, um, and so I just don't. Um, I just can't see it happening. So, I think I think it's gonna be here, right? It could look different. I think the rumor was that they were gonna do a full restructure of the qualifying portion leading into it, utilizing a sanctional format again, which I think is fine. I think that's probably the right thing to do. I also think the regional format was sustainable. I think they just didn't want to fucking make it work. Regionals was slam packed everywhere. They didn't charge enough for all the shit. That's just how it worked, right? It just wasn't, they didn't. And so, I think they had an opportunity there and they missed it. That's fine. The semifinal thing is okay. I think it's too big, too many, right? I think it should be a regional aspect again, 2 in Europe, 4 in the States, and then 1 everywhere else, right? I think that would get a lot more people because again, right? Yes, it costs a lot more, charge more, keep people in there. But again, like I said, um, um, and so the, that like the fringe athlete that didn't make semifinals because they were 45th or 50th or 60th. Now that person goes in and that person has way more gym and community support than your top games athletes. So I think the support and also keeping it more regional, right? The reason why regionals did so well was because everyone there was local within a few hundred miles, right? The problem with the West is that no one's going to fly from Justin's gym besides his family to go watch him, or Brent's gym, doesn't train in a gym, to go watch them. It's only going to be the people that are there. But if you get more people that are local into that competition, you're going to get more local support. No one's going to fly for regionals or semifinals. Europe will, because it's easy to travel in Europe, but it's fucking terrible to travel in the States. So you make more regionals, charge more for the weekend, right? Keep it to 30. And then we get back to 60 people. You just run 2 events, right? So, anyways, that's my thoughts on it. And I think it'll be fine. But I do think the season structure is going to change, but there will be a CrossFit Games. There's no doubt in my mind. They've already paid money. There's contracts. Andrew, did I watch the Butterbos video on I didn't. I did see their teaser trailer and how much backlash it got. But I mean, no matter what, everyone's going to give backlash. So I haven't watched it. Should I watch it? Let me know. CH, I think that's me. Were you around when this? I was, but I didn't, yeah, I didn't follow much there. Yeah, I mean, that's like, I don't know. You want to play it? No, we can't play it. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'll get fucking demonetized. Um, yeah, if it were local and Colton and I both made it, there would be a good show, right? So like, you know, um, yeah, like if there was like a Midwest one, there would be a great showing just for you two athletes, right? Like not even assuming Colton's, fanfare. No, I'm not playing it. Uh, um, no. Yeah, and I think they had a really good opportunity there. Now, even the sanctional thing, they can figure out what to do it with, not just fucking Wadapalooza. Um, then I think there's also a good opportunity there as well. I still think we should have pro cards. I still think there should be a point system. I still think we should utilize like this amateur concept, golf or tennis, or like, like X game type sports. But yeah, anyways. And I think that's gonna get us to the point. How are you gonna come on my show and not say hello to me, but say hello to Gus? What the fuck is that? Which is fine. That's all right. All 28 people watching. I feel like I had some other stuff to talk about. Oh, there's more people watching now. All right, so let me know what you guys think. If you guys didn't catch up, if you just popped in, trying to get an intro song. Let me know what you guys think of this one. AI is the best. Dude, AI made this in like 3 minutes. It's fucking sweet. I like this one better. Here we go. Ready?
In the world of fitness, born and raised on the buff floor where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. Talking CrossFit tips and breaking no rules. In a couple of reps, always up to no good. Started throwing down weights in my neighborhood. I hit one big PR, my coach got scared. Said you're moving up the leaderboard, straight to the fair. This is the Wild Prep Podcast. Come on for CrossFit fitness and life to begin. Masters athletes. This one's for you. Get ready, get set, let's break through.
I think it's a banger. Anyways, little Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I really just like the course. Like, I like just this one, just the course. Something shorter. No, it's not that. There's no cursing. As long as there's no cursing, she's even keel with it. And Gus, no one likes you. Again, you're on timeout. I don't know how to figure it out, but you're fired. You're on timeout. Anyways, I want to use the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme and make a song. That's where we're at. We'll figure it out. I'll get one. Let's see. What else did I have to pull up today? Oh, in case, well, I might do a country one. That'd probably fit a little bit better. I like the Fresh Prince though. It's just like such a good theme song. But I think, yeah, I'll have him do a country one. I feel like I'm going to take Masters out of it. I feel like just the Wad Prep podcast is about CrossFit and I don't know, fucking sport drama. So who knows? Let's see. Oh, this happened this morning. If you guys don't follow Jacob Hepner, his wife is pregnant and they are heading to L&D. So pray for them or wish them some luck. Yeah, congrats to them. Hopefully it goes well. It's a big deal. Let's see. I wanted to pull up, but I couldn't find it. So Ben's a hunter. Okay, he does the elk hunting thing. I feel like, all right, here we go. We're gonna pull this up because I respect Ben. Um, uh, that's fair. I agree with this. The intro is crazy and the show is calm. That's fair. All right, so we need a chill one just for this show, maybe. All right, I like it. I like it. Um, yeah, for the second time in a month. I haven't done 2,000 wall balls in totality for sure in the last 4 years, and he did it 2,000 wall balls in a month. All right, so we're gonna share this. We're gonna go over this. So, because I think it's really important to talk about. And here we go. All right, so so Ben posts, the reason I do CrossFit isn't to compete anymore. It's excel in my other hobbies. Ben is leaving to go elk hunting, backcountry, and so he shoots a bow. And Ben's from a really small town in Maryland, very like, Christian, kind of Christian liberal, but anyways, no guns, no killing, no anything like that, right? In general. And so this was a comment, and Ben's response was, in this day and age, taking an innocent animal's life is still celebrated. You lost a faithful follower. I know you won't cry. And Ben's response was really, really good. And then he made some more stories and stuff, but I can't find them. So lots to unpack here, but I will say I was strongly against hunting until I learned more about it 5 years ago. I was in the why hurt them? We can get meat from the grocery store camp. All I really knew about hunting was from Bambi. Seemed mean, but after having an open mind and actually doing my research, I'm now an avid hunter. Hunting is probably one of the best things for wildlife in the USA, which sounds crazy. From funding conservation, protecting public land, and managing populations, it's irrefutably essential for the environment. Ask any wildlife biologist. They care about and understand wildlife animals more than you or I ever will, and they are some of the biggest hunting advocates on earth. Additionally, I choose to eat meat, and I would much rather be the one to take that animal, feel the weight of those emotions, and understand what it took to take that animal's life in order to feed myself than to order a cheeseburger off a menu without a second thought as to what happened to that animal. Happy to discuss more, but this only scratches the surface. So anyways, and then their responses, unless you only eat meat which you hunted. Yeah, so people can disagree, but either way, it's I think it's everyone's right, right? It is a stop sharing. Whether you believe in it or not, right? If at any point, I think the only argument, in my opinion, that can stand is that you don't eat meat and that all animal killing is bad. Okay, that's fine. Sure. But it really is, right? And so I just wanted to put Ben on here. I know he doesn't listen to the podcast or anything, but I respect Ben so much. And when I met him, like, he had never held a gun. And now he owns a lot more than I do. And yeah, it's good. I loved reading that, and yeah, I just wanted to put it on the show and give him kudos for being a good and civil supporter of hunting and the good that it is for the environment. Yeah, I guess a good hunter can harvest game a lot more ethically than, oh yeah, for sure, right? Especially like elk and yeah, it's not even close. Like okay, so Justin, PFAA question. It seems like mostly Canadian European athletes. Wonder if they had someone like Froning or Ben Smith as their spokesman, they'd have more credibility. They probably would, but they won't, because some people don't think the same. It's interesting, right? The whole, like, if you look at the games, it felt like it hit the Europeans harder. And it could just be because Lazar was obviously European, but I think a lot of people feel that they manage death and tragedy and these situations different than Americans, right? And it seemed as though that the Americans were maybe less empathetic and to the situation. But I talked to a few Europeans, and they feel that live in the States now, and they feel on average that Europeans are substantially more stern and not careless, but they don't care about others' feelings, and that she feels that Americans are more empathetic to situations like this relative to where she is in Europe, and her experiences here in the States versus obviously what she grew up with too, which I thought that was really fascinating, that she sees it from obviously her personal experience, 180 degrees difference than how I think a lot of us have perceived it online. But wonder if they had someone like Froning or Ben. Well, they would never have Froning, right? Again, if you guys watched, I did watch the Mayhem one, and I think it does they made a really good point. Him and Angelo, they made a really good point of being firefighters, right? And people that experience death, people will experience and process death differently than other people. And someone that has been around death often, first responder, will respond to this much different than someone who has only lost, in their 20s, has only put down a dog and lost their grandma that was 95, right? And so I think that makes a huge difference, right? If you really talked and sat with everybody, how many close friends have you lost? Like, who have you lost suddenly? Have you lost anyone your age? Or younger adults in your life. And so I think those do play a role. Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong or whatever it is, but that plays a role in how you process death, whether it was negligence or unavoidable or whatever it was. So it's interesting. But yes, the answer is for sure. If they had bigger names like out front of it, they would definitely have some more clout. But we don't even know, right? Like Gus said above, we don't know how many of the 80, if we consider the 80 the professionals this year, are supporting the PFAA. Dense after 40, good morning. That looks like a college. You look like it maybe at a football game there or a sporting event. Is that a college shirt? We were talking about college football earlier. Let's see. What else did I have to talk about? Little League. I was trying to find covering CrossFit's post, but I didn't save it. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, we lost two young men on our wrestling team while I was in high school, senior year. Yeah, I lost, I lost four close friends in freshman year of high school, all to drinking, like in car accidents, or like freak things. And so, yeah, it's terrible. Like it just, it sucks. I've lost multiple friends to suicide, and I've lost, I lost my dad really young, almost, what year is it? 11 years ago now, 2024. Yeah, 11 years ago. So, and so death just like affects people differently. And so, it stinks, right? It doesn't like make you better or anything like that, but you just process it a little differently for sure. Looks like keeping it real is catching up, making demands, no army. I agree. Well, this is good. We'll have, one of our coworkers, lives in Scotland, so she's going to go, hopefully. This is funny. So I would love to go. I told her, I was like, you need to go just so you can get like Scotland specific road gear and send it to us. a gaggle. A gaggle is such a great way. I've talked to a gaggle of athletes that don't support them. They don't have shit. They're like the United Nations. Haha. Uh, Gaggle is such a great way to talk about a group of people. I think it's like one of the best words for grouping multiples. It's funny. I'm super stoked for Rogue. I think it's going to be really good. I hope they really show out. And yeah, it'll be a fun one. All right. So, dude, Gaggle's such a great. There's always words. There's like some words, that like just will never go out of style. What did I hear the other day? Oh, what was it? Sucker. No, it was. Man, it was when I was talking with Danny, and he called someone like it's not an insult, but it was like sucker. And what was it? Jokester? No. It's like a way to refer to someone like sort of demeaning. What was it? I don't know. I'll think. It'll hit me. Anyways. All right. So if you guys are looking for some coffee, per usual, I'll hit my guys up. No. Jabroni. Well, it wasn't Jabroni, but that could be it. SophiaCoffee.co, the smallest roaster in the country, I swear to God, but they make the best coffee. They are excellent, and it's super cheap. Guys, 2 pounds. 2 pounds is $35. That's so cheap. $6 shipped everywhere in the country. Try it. Let me know. We haven't secured the bag yet. Not yet. Working on it. Trying hard. Really what? Jabroni. No, Jabroni's a good one though. Jabroni's a solid one. It was like, fuck, what was it? God damn it. Yeah, no, you got to try it and then they'll sponsor me. They're super small. The sponsorship's going to be like me owning part of the company. Oh yeah, let's dig back into, I didn't even see the thing. No. What? Oh. 48% yes, 52% no. 33. All 33 people watching. That's what I'm talking about. Good job, guys. Where were we just at? Jabroni's a good one. Man, I'm trying to think. It's like, oh, do I got to keep Ben at home? I'm probably gonna try. It'll definitely like smash my day, but I think we're gonna try really hard to keep him home. So as soon as I get off here, I'll talk to Perrin. Let's see. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get some free bags. Well, I'm actually trying to just like get a code. I'll just take like a revenue share. Question: why all the workouts for the Masters are released in advance, but not for the CrossFit game? That's a good question. Whoa! So, I just knocked over my shit. Gotta get a little bit of lighting in here. Yeah. So why are the workouts released in advanced? Well, I mean, in advanced I wouldn't call Thursday like that far in advanced for an event that's happening in a week, right? I mean, they'll practice some of them, but a lot of events will release most of their workouts in advance. The games just is all about the unknown and unknowable. And so it's just kind of part of the persona of the weekend, right? So So, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. But it's for sure a Dave thing, which I'm okay with, right? I don't think they need to know all the events in general. Donut time, exactly. Knowing workouts, it might help with safety, but I doubt it, to be honest. I don't think it really makes a difference. No, Bennett's not sick, but there might be a stomach bug going around in his class, and we don't want that shit because I'm leaving. And so we don't need him sick because that would be terrible for Perrin. Masters talk, sidetracked, mission completed. Yeah, we don't want to talk about it. Let's see. Man, I wish I could get on at like 8, like 7:30. I feel like more people would get on, but I can't. This little nugget's going to wake up soon. Let's see. What else do we got? I don't know. Anyone want to talk about anything? I'm trying to hold in a pee. So much coffee this morning. Any last minute discussions? Last minute chat? I didn't have to do that at all this morning. That was good. I didn't have to like peruse the, the poll. 48 yes, 52% no. End poll. You guys are all losers. I don't agree with you. Boo. Boo. Let's see. Is the kind of scaling done for Masters games be a good guideline for scaling at home? So give me an example. So like if you see the standard for 30 30 30, are you asking if the scale for would be good for like 20 20 20 or 25 that they did? I'm not so when you think of a scale, right? This is a good question. When you think of a scale, you need to know the intended stimulus behind the workout, right? Time domain, fatigue, pairing, muscular fatigue, energy system, etc., right? So the goal is to maintain maintain the stimulus as close as possible, right? Oh, here we go. This is better. This is a little more unique or specific. Differences in weights. Yeah, they're fine. I think that's fine. Those are competition. I do think they have some weight limitations. But this goes into what I was just saying, right? So, as far as, so we'll just say Fran, for example, 95, 65 pull-ups. If you know that you are going to take 7 minutes to do Fran, you need to scale it to fit. Now that could be a lighter barbell, right? Or that could be less reps in the same barbell weight. Okay. Or less pull-ups, right? So, and so weight isn't always needed to be adjusted. Sometimes it is. I don't like doing always the same scale, right? So, or the same adjustment all the way down. Sometimes it's needed. So, you want to make sure that you're modifying. So if you always adjust weight, then you'll never get comfortable moving X amount of load. So, I assume the programmers wanted to maintain the stimulus. They did, but, it is we'll just go with yes. They're probably good standards, but not all of them I think are perfect. It's also very hard to scale all the way down. So like, let's just say, let's just, what workout? Where'd my little thing go? I thought I saved it. Let's just say the power clean, like the 8 rounds, 8 toes to bar, 8 bar facing burpees, 1 clean. And it's like 255, right? So they went down with each age group. The problem with going down for each age group there is that it will still be, a different stimulus for every athlete in the age group because it's a test, right? So let's just say hypothetically 35s is 255 for the clean, and then 45 male or 50 male is 205, right? Now that it's a test, right? So they're trying to get the same stimulus for the athlete, like for the test itself, but it's going to be a different stimulus for everyone, right? So, and unless you're like a high competitive RX athlete, you shouldn't ever be just looking to just like do the same weight to hit that same bit. That stimulus is going to be different for you, right? So like if you only clean 215, you shouldn't do 205, right? Like to elicit the same stimulus. Does that make sense? Like you need to elicit the stimulus of like, I can grab this bar and I can do a quick power clean, or I can do a quick squat clean, and I can get back to the 8 and 8 for the 8 rounds, right? So in a competition setting, they want to keep the same stimulus, which is good, but that stimulus is still going to be different for all 40 athletes or 30 or 20 athletes competing within the bit. Someone's going to move that bar very easy, and that workout's going to be a lot easier. That person is fitter and stronger, and it's going to be harder for another person, but that's within the test, right? So it doesn't quite work the same when from a training stimulus, right? Like if the goal was to adapt it for a training perspective, bar would probably be a little heavier for someone really strong that's really, really fit, and it might be even lighter for someone, you know, even though like the age group could be 205, but again, you know, so, okay. I think I made my point. The tier event is so Enrique, I'm very confident that Wadapalooza SoCal was actually scheduled before the game. Like I think they had their date set prior to the, adaptive games personally. I'm pretty confident I heard it come out that weekend prior to hearing when the adaptive games were going to be. If only there were a good programming option for masters athletes, head over to wadprep.com. Dude, this guy does look like Billy Mays. Head over to wadprep.com/train. We start a new cycle this September 2nd, so Monday. We're in a transition week this week. If you guys are looking for a great master's program, we have master's intermediate for our gymnastics developing athletes and a master's RX program. Okay. Head over there. The video on that page is not updated yet. It should be by the end of today or tomorrow. If you're looking for a very good master's program, the best master's program, written for masters, written by masters and physical therapists. Our goal is longevity with fitness in the minimum effective dose. We don't do extra volume. Our sessions are shorter, but they are intense. And so, yeah, I'll plug us. All right. No call-ins today. Shame on you guys. I worked fucking hard to set up this stupid Rodecaster. That's all right. We're going to go live tomorrow, John and Travis, tomorrow, probably late afternoon, once we get into Birmingham. And we're going to go live every night. I don't care if you guys care about Masters. We do. We're the Masters support team. We're going to talk about the event each night with my coaches, Orlando and Nelson. Maybe we'll convince John and Travis to get on too. So thanks, guys. That was a good show. I didn't hit the ums or the dead time too much. You guys got to hear a little bit about my past. My past is a pretty interesting one to be 34. And we talked about a lot of good stuff. All right, I'm going to piss my pants. We'll go see if I need to keep Bennett home from school. I will for sure be on another morning show at some point this week. I'm not 100% sure when. If you fucking know, my phone's always on Do Not Disturb. There's no way you'd ever get through. Chris, I'll call that number at 312. Yeah, there's no way. Oh, Duke, come here. Come on, up. Come here. Duke, come here, big boy. Oh, you big stretch. Come here. Come on. Come here. Oh, come here. Come on. Up. Come here. Come here. Sit. Come here. Come up. Oh, there's a big boy. You say hello. Can you say hello? Hello. Can you say goodbye? Yes. I know. This is my man. My big snuggle munchkin. He's so big. Y'all, Duke weighs 115 pounds. Hit that like and subscribe, even if you like Duke. All right. Thank you guys for being here this morning. And we'll see you tomorrow at some point in time to talk more Masters stuff. Have a good day, and thank you guys for being here.